So, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to a sunny Weston-super-Mare in December. And this is my landing. And this is the entrance to my quiet sanctuary. Welcome everybody to the Bone Idle and Workshie Railway. Most people would refer to this as a model railway, but I tend to call it a train set. The reason I call it a train set is because model railways are generally either modelled on a specific place, or they're very accurate scale models with huge amounts of very involved and very inventive detail that people with much more skill and patience than me spend absolutely hours and hours modelling. And good luck to them, more power to their elbow. I have seen their stuff at exhibitions and they've impressed the hell out of me, it must be said. But it's not for me. I just want to watch the trains go round. So let me tell you really what this railway is all about. What they used to call in the old days the philosophy of the railway. So if we start with the railway, those of you keen eye will know that the inner circuit is the old 1970s Triang Super 4. And the outer circuit is an amazing mixture of lots of fine scale later rail. The reason for this being, of course, the Minic motorway that runs round the middle of it, which is designed and made and dovetails with the Super 4 track. Now I've tried combining superfine track with converter rails and stuff, but honestly it's not a good answer. So here we are, and what's it all about? Well, what's it all about really, to start with, is the Minic motorway. I was given one of these when I was a child. I should say I'm 64 now. And it was a hugely favourite toy. And I quickly realised that I wanted a model railway to go with it. So I then started combining the two. And this, of course, the Minic motorway is beautifully designed to dovetail with Triang's railways at the time. Now, another reason why this isn't a scale model railway is, of course, it's a 1960 child's toy, so the scales don't actually match. The commercial vehicles are kind of round about the right scale, but the cars, well, they're completely wrong. They're completely wrong for a very simple reason, and that very simple reason is the fact if they made them to scale in the 1960s, you'd have never got an electrical motor inside them. So let me walk you around the place. We're starting on the left here, and this is Workshie Motive Power Depot. One of the first bits I actually put in when I made the railway, and it's due a rethink. So at some point I should be ripping all this out and redoing it again. Now you'll notice a mixture of locomotives, mainly 60s and 70s, BR blue with a few oddities in between. The bridge on the end there, you might notice a Eurostar disappearing into the tunnel. That's a kind of visual joke if you like. So scanning back round, we come round Workshie signal box, and at the back there Workshie station. All a mixture of goodies and bits and pieces. And then down here you see the Minic motorway road rail section, a piece of rail track which runs round the front of it. Coming round the back, there's a lovely kink in the line, obviously because the radiator's at the back of there and we have to keep the room warm. And we eventually end at the other end of the layout, which is Workshie. Now this obviously is the smallest bedroom in the house, so we were constricted for space. So what we actually ended up having to do was be inventive. And if you realise that the ferry crossing there must be at sea level, the entire rest of the layout would have to be below sea level. I think you need to use your imagination and remember that that piece of road leading to the ferry terminal ought to be a few miles longer and have a few hills in it. But unfortunately, if I did that, I'd never shut the door. So down here we have Workshie Ferry Road, and then the elevated section, and coming back up through there to Workshie itself. Now, as I say, it's a train set. I don't take anything too seriously, hence the name of the stations, Workshie and Bone Idle. So it's there very much for my own amusement. But I do enjoy sharing these videos with you guys online, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. And I tend to put in things that amuse me, like our naked ladies there sunbathing, and the fact that the frontier post is obviously the frontier post with our friends in the EEC, as per our current Brexit situation, if you like. Now, just about, the whole thing was governed just about by what I could fit onto the baseboard here, and consequently there are some lovely bits of Minic that are not involved that I'd love to put in. I'd like to put in a dual carriageway and whatever, but it just simply would not fit. So a little more detail for you now. The back corner at Workshie, there is Workshie Peugeot. The sole reason that's there is I used to work in a Peugeot dealership, and I have this wonderful collection of Peugeot cars that I desperately wanted to show off. And that actually is a piece of Peugeot merchandising in the corner, but I just like it. So coming round to here, it's the roundabout in the ferry terminal. The eagle-eyed amongst you will see that that is not actually a standard derrick on the end of the ferry terminal. That's because on several occasions walking in the door I used to catch the thing and I ended up breaking it. So I made myself another one using my 3D printer, and this one is a little more robust and tends to go twang when I catch it. Over here, the custom junctions that people have asked me about online, which I bought off eBay off a chap who makes them. Mine never was a dust cart over there. And then down in under here we do actually have some sidings that go under Workshie, because I wanted more storage space, and at some point I'll put some lighting under there so I can see what's going on. Coming round the flyover section, now when I came to install this, the standard Minic supports just would not fit in amongst the key restricted space, so I ended up making my own supports to hold them clear, and a piece of road rail there which doesn't connect, it's only there for show. But you always find lots and lots of people talking about the fact that Triang should reinstate the Minic motorway, and it did have wonderful play value. This of course is the road rail section where you loaded the cars onto the back of the trains and could take them for a run around. I've done a couple of videos on that. And the customs post I mentioned before, with its barrier that goes up and down, again wonderful play value. Originally run by clockwork, now powered by an electric motor at the back, because short of taking those motors to the repair shop I haven't come across one that's actually stood the test of time. Down here you can see the pickup for the Royal Mail. I have that all working on the circuit as well. Coming around again, lots of odds and ends and bits and pieces, but all these are Minic buildings, or Minic motorway buildings should I say, which have all been collected by myself over time and added into the mix. And I've just been waiting really to get the green light to give them a permanent home. And then coming around there you've got the level crossing. Again, wonderful play value for the time. and the road rail section the same. So it's very, very good. Over here, the drive-through building, of course you could get one that had a helicopter on the top and launched helicopters off the top of it. And then coming around down here, the Triang model supermarket, and then the Mad Motorist accessory where the yellow Porsche backs across the road. I have added some embellishments into this. I've made it actually into a small Porsche dealership, and hidden under that lean-to shed on the end there is the electric motor that now powers it rather than the clockwork one. But I've been collecting all of this now literally since I was in my my late 30s, waiting to give it a home, and now I've got one, and it causes me endless amusement, endless amusement. So I hope you're all up to speed now with what the Bone Idle and Workshie Railway is all about, named of course after the fact that I retired last year. And I'm sure I'll be conversating with you all soon on the various Facebook pages. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your continued interest, chaps.